So you launched your Skool community. You've got calls, courses, and even a few members showing up, but it's not running like the well-oiled machine that you'd first imagined when signing up. Inside this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on how we structure our daily actions inside of Skool to build authority, grow our email list, and systemize client flow. I'm giving you the exact 6-step daily member method that we teach inside of our paid program, Membership Launch Accelerator, and how you can start using it today to grow a high converting, high engaging community. So let's dive in. Here's where I feel like most coaches in the industry go wrong, is they feel like creating content on social media, constantly keeping up with the trends, constantly posting, promoting, building up their list is enough. And then on the back end of that, they're building out systems and funnels and courses. And in the meanwhile, they're constantly having to market their business to new people. And we're starting to build out Skool, but we're building out Skool as a vault to house our program, not a funnel that sells our program. And I think that's a huge mistake. The world right now is talking about Skool and talking about how you can, shift off of Kajabi or ClickFunnels or Go High Level or whatever and start using Skool. And then all of a sudden it's just going to explode your business. And the truth is, if you keep using these platforms like a vault to keep all of your knowledge hidden behind some paywall, your people aren't going to find you. And so if we can begin to leverage these platforms as a stage for you to become the authority, for you to showcase your expertise and start to build up a tribe of raving fans and a community that doesn't just rely on you being the engine driving that community, but as a place that actually further positions you as the authority and continues to attract the right people to your business, I think that's where you're going to start to win in the game, especially as a coach in an ever competitive market of social media. Those who are prioritizing community and not putting their knowledge behind a paywall, I think they're going to win. Especially as AI becomes more and more popular, what your clients really need is not more information behind a paywall. What they need is accountability and support from somebody that they know, like, and trust. And that's where, if we can begin to use Skool as a system that begins to showcase your knowledge, indoctrinate someone into your process, and then clearly guide them into the next step of working with you, where you go from visibility to engagement to conversion, that's where your funnel system is going to start to pump, and it's going to pump for you. Instead of you having to constantly be the one moving your business forward, pushing all the buttons, doing all the marketing yourself, you'll start to create this machine that starts to do that heavy lifting for you. So here's really what we should be doing instead, is we should start to build our visibility in aligned Skool communities. And the way that we can do that is actually by finding communities where our ideal clients are already hanging out. I like to do the reference of, there's parties happening all over the world, and especially online. And we want to go to a party that's already thriving, where we have a bunch of people in the room that we actually want to hang out with, who share common interests to us. And also some people in there who, if we gave them the space in our time, would be interested in actually getting help from us. But what happens, what I see on Skool, is that we go and we build our own communities and we just expect for people to just come because we built it. And it's kind of, and now right now I'm thinking of the movie Home. It's like the little purple guy who's like, come to my party. It's the best party in the world. And nobody shows up. Nobody shows up until everyone knows who he is. And then everybody from the universe showed up to his party. And the only difference there was his getting known. And so when we're able to then position ourselves and go to other people's parties and start to get known as the person who's always there, who cares, and has knowledge and expertise and is willing to help people, that's how people are going to end up resonating. And they're going to be the ones who join your community and become your founding members of your group and become the reason that your future members will actually stay. So number one is we need to start to build visibility in aligned communities where your ideal clients are hanging out. And on Skool, that makes it very easy because you can just start to rank on the leaderboards in those communities, and you very quickly start to get known there. So that's number one. The second thing is really positioning yourself with really clear messaging. And especially for some of you who are established in in-person business, this is a lot of times challenging for you because you haven't really had to learn how to market yourself before. And so really what I want you to try to learn to articulate is the one problem that you solve for the one person and the one pathway in which you solve it. So one problem, one person, one pathway. And that's how we can begin to position our community in a way that really attracts the right people to our business and repels the wrong one. So once we build that visibility, and once we have clear messaging of our own community or our own funnel, then it's really repurposing content with intention. So we have content, which really equals credibility and connection with your audience. And if you're able to post content in other communities and even better content in your own community, there's going to be a reason for people to come and for people to stay. So what I want to walk you through right now is an actual tangible printout that you can get, and I'm going to link it below this video. This is what we use with our paid clients inside of Membership Launch Accelerator. It's really my vision when I created this was, so often I hear from my clients how they sit down to go work at their desk and they're just not entirely sure what workflow they should get into to at least get started. And so the idea of this is it could be printed out, put on your desk. And if you just check through these items every day, you're making progress on the needle moving tasks to grow your business online and to really build out a funnel system that starts to work for you. So the daily member method is about getting members daily into your community. And right now, our Skool community is ranked in the top 50 overall of all Skool communities, and we're top 13 in the business category. And we're top 13 in the money category, which is, in my opinion, the most challenging category to rank on in Skool. And we've done that because we're constantly getting members, yes, by doing this method, but we also have a highly engaged community who supports one another and is growing at a faster and faster rate every single day. And so you want to see behind the scenes of exactly how we're doing it? That's what we're going to jump into now. All right, so the whole purpose of the daily member method is to get seen, grow your community, book calls, and make sales. So number one is posting in your community. So what we need to start to do is rotate through your content pillars. And I really recommend posting live in the moment. This is where you had a breakthrough, you had an aha, you had something that just inspired you. Well, there's nothing that says community more than just bringing your members into that experience with you and helping to reveal that aha moment. And my partner, Steve, is a lot better at doing this than I am. He is constantly posting in the moment while we're doing things. So we really want to be speaking to the pain, the desire, or the results of our ideal clients, sharing inspiration, building that sense of community, having people get to know each other from around the world. That's really what we're trying to do in our community, is just foster a sense of community. And so that starts with you as the owner of the community, sharing and posting in the moment when you're feeling inspired. So if you're promoting something, which I don't recommend doing all the time, but every now and again, I do it every couple of weeks, I will promote something and I'll add a call to action. And even if you're not promoting something, it's still good to have a call to action, even if it's just helping to boost that member engagement down below the post so that it facilitates that conversation. It's almost like at a party, a conversation is back and forth. It's you asking a question to the other person and hearing their point of view. And so I like to think of a post, if you don't have a call to action, as just a one-sided conversation. So I think a call to action is just a really great way to involve the person on the other side and to get them to open up and talk about themselves. That's what people really want to do, right? And so then when they talk about themselves, they then feel that rule of reciprocity. They want to go engage with other people because they don't want to be the only one talking into the void at a party. They want to be interacting and feeling that sense of community with each other. So posting is just a beautiful way to facilitate that. So number one is post in your community. Number two is repurposing that to 3 other communities. Now, I know it says copy and paste here, but do not just copy and paste the exact same thing in all of the communities that you're in. Please use the one that you just created for your community as a baseline. Then I want you to take that and reformulate it for an audience that maybe doesn't know you as much, or reformulate it in a way that maybe uses different words or pulls a different lesson out of the story. Just think about this. Let's just pretend Jessica was in your Skool community and this other community. Would Jessica read and get something different from both of those posts? Or is she going to know that you just copied and pasted it into both communities? Because the reality is there's going to be some overlap. Why? Because the strategy that you're doing in these other communities is going to bring people back to your community, meaning there's going to be the same people in both places at some point. So if we're posting the same things in both places, you're going to wear out your audience. So don't do that. Not the same word for word post, pull something different. And then in that post, you can tag someone that you thought of when you made it. You can ask a question. You can add a poll. You can add a GIF. You can just spark conversation. Like, add some pizzazz to it. right? X is really good as a place if you just want to add text and nothing else, but Skool wants to bring your post to life a little bit. Okay. So repurpose that into 3 other communities. That is step number 2. Number 3 is engage. This is 50 actions a minimum every single day. So this is making new comments. Why are we doing this? We're cheerleading. We're adding value. We're supporting other people, right? We're replying to all of the comments on your post. Speed to lead. We do not post and ghost around here. Why? Because how rude would it be at a party if you start a conversation and then they start to reply to you and you just walk away? No. That is not a sense of community. I've been guilty of that and it's terrible. We need to make sure that we're actively replying to every single person who comments on our post. Or what's going to happen? They're going to stop replying and then you're going to wonder why your community is dead. Okay, so we're engaging on posts. We're engaging with leads. We're replying in the DMs and we're being an active part of our community and the conversation. So number 1, you post. Number 2, you repost in other communities. Number 3, we're engaging with our members and actually building and fostering that sense of community. Number 4 is we're sending 5 meaningful DMs. Okay, we need to be sparking conversations and asking real questions. Or maybe this is following up with somebody who you had a conversation with last week. Maybe the conversation went dry because they got busy, you got busy, and just kind of fell off. Focus on connection, not pitching. Here's the reality. If you set your Skool community up properly and you are doing this engagement in other communities, people are going to come back to yours. They're going to see what you do. They're going to see you as the authority and the expert in your niche. And guess what? They're going to ask you questions in regards to what you help them with. If this is set up properly, it just works like a machine. Okay. So it brings you leads. So if you start to be salesy or try to pitch, it's defeating the purpose of being magnetic, right? If done properly, your system will magnetize people to you based on your expertise, meaning you don't need to be sleazy salesy. We can focus on the connection with the human on the other side, ask them deep questions, hold space for them. Okay, so we send 5 meaningful conversations. Number 5 is we're booking calls. Why? Because we could go back and forth in the DMs all day long. That's great. But I feel, and I truly believe to my core, that the best place and the best way to truly help someone is getting them on a call. Why? Because there you can really hold space and you can get them into the flow of your conversation to go deeper than they could do just in a back and forth text. Why is that? Because if they're in the DMs back and forth, sure, there's some value there, but you don't know what's happening in their world right now. They could be sitting at their desk, but their boss walks in and right as you asked a really deep conversation or question, and then they're not able to answer you effectively, or maybe their kids pull them away from their phone. There's so many distractions that are happening in the world around them where if you're just on a face-to-face Zoom or phone call, you have their undivided attention to really go deep. Okay, there's a reason coaching sessions aren't really held in the DMs, but that's there if they need anything between coaching sessions. It's because the real transformation happens on that dedicated time with your client. So typically how we teach this with our clients is they book 5 onboarding calls per week, and we would like to see 3 of those turn into a full sales call, which is a 60-minute ascension call. Step number 6 is to track. You need to use your momentum tracker and track your numbers. The reason this is so important is that tells us where you have the biggest gaps in your system and where your business is not working right now. And when we know it's not working, we can know what should we focus more of our attention on to start getting more of the results that you want to see in your business. So that is the 6-step daily member method. This is what we do every day. This is what our focus is as a team. So if you look here, if we chalk it down, all of these things that we're doing are working to build our machine, which is our Skool community, and not just using this as some program behind a paywall, but using this as a funnel system that adds value, builds connection, and makes our business run like a well-oiled machine. So here's why showing up outside of your Skool matters. Your authority is going to build with visibility and repetition. So posting across Skool communities builds recognition, familiarity, and trust. And then it gets people to say, who the fuck is Jamie? And then what happens is they automatically go to your profile. They see what your communities are. They might even follow you on social media, but they're enticed to then join your community if they have the problem that you solve, which is where your messaging has to be spot on. And this is where your funnel system can begin to kick in and turn that member into a client if they have their hands raised and are looking for the solution, which is you and your paid program. And that's why it needs to be mapped out very clearly what your offer is, what your price is, and what you're going to help them with. Look, Skool's algorithm rewards consistency and value. It does not reward spam. And so this entire system is based on adding value, having real human connection, and really just being the life of the party.
We host a monthly masterclass where I'm going to break down the exact systems that I use for myself and my clients to help them scale and sell premium offers that stand out. So click the link in the description to join us and start building your irresistible offer out today.